Okay. So I'd like to introduce the QCIF team members present in the webinar. So we've got myself, Andrew White, also known as Andy White in some circles, who's the ReDBox support liaison. We've got Gavin Kennedy, QCIF manager for outreach and engineering. We've got Andrew Brazzatti, the ReDBox lead analyst and developer. Many of you know him. And we've got Matt and Shiloh, analyst developers from the QCIF development team. Now, in the webinar, we're going to cover a very brief introduction to QCIF and our professional services. Gavin will cover that off. I'll introduce ReDBox and ReDBox Lite for those who are new to ReDBox. And then I'll pass it over to Andrew Brazzatti to provide a demonstration of ReDBox Lite and briefly highlight some of the forthcoming features. And then we'll open it up to questions and answers. The session is not going to be highly technical, although we can answer technical questions. It's rather to provide a high-level overview of ReDBox from a user perspective. So I'll pass it over to Gavin now, and he can...
Thanks, Andy. Oh, and yes, I'm not muted, good. So thank you very much, Andy, and thank you everybody for attending and taking the opportunity to familiarise yourself or refamiliarise yourself with ReDBox and what the ReDBox Lite platform offers as well. Briefly about QCIF, the Queensland Cyber Infrastructure Foundation, was founded in 2000 as a not-for-profit company to provide e-research infrastructure and services for Queensland research institutions through high-performance computing, research cloud services, and large-scale data management that would drive regional, national, and international collaboration. QCIF manages the professional services team, which you see before you, which is responsible for ReDBox development, coordination, and support. So I explicitly state development coordination since ReDBox is an open source community project. But we also provide a significant range of software development and managed services, such as ReDBox Lite. Our QCIF members comprise the 6 Queensland universities that you can see in the screen there, with the University of Sunshine Coast as an associate member. And we also participate in the high performance research infrastructure initiatives that have been funded by the Commonwealth Government, such as NECTA, ANZ, and RDS. So just moving on to Chris Cloud. Hold on. Looking at 2 screens at once. So as an outcome of these federally funded initiatives, QCIF has implemented Chris Cloud. This offers researchers large-scale cloud computing and data storage services. Chris Cloud aims to stimulate and accelerate the use of computing by researchers across all disciplines. And Chris Cloud is the cloud service on which we host our managed services, including ReDBox Lite. The Chris Cloud portal shown here can help you navigate and learn about our data and compute services, our application marketplace, and our professional services. And I should add to that it's also an access portal for gaining access to high-performance computing resources as well. So our professional services, so on top of QCIF's research infrastructure, we provide a range of professional services. This includes software engineering services, where you can access our project management and software engineering expertise to develop your software products and services. And this software engineering team are the team responsible for ReDBox as well. And hence we are able not only to provide and support ReDBox, but we have good capabilities in understanding research data management platforms and integrating ReDBox with your platforms. We also operate engagement services from QCIF, where our e-research analysts can support you in making the best possible use of our infrastructure and help you to collaborate with your research community. We provide managed hosting services, where our sysadmins can manage and support applications and services running on Chris Cloud on your behalf, which would take out the administration overheads out of the service equation. And we also provide support desk services, where you can access our professional support desk arrangements to support your own products your own products and services. and training services, providing training on a variety of topics such as programming, big data analytics, data management techniques, and HPC techniques. So that's the brief overview. I'll hand you back to Andy White to give you an overview of ReDBox.
Great, thanks, Gavin. And now on to ReDBox. Now, for those that don't know, ReDBox stands for the Research Data Box. Very creative, I know. So ReDBox and ReDBox Lite are research data management solutions built for managing, describing, and sharing research data collections. It's designed to support the research data lifecycle, to bring research data under management, allowing institutions to help meet the Australian Code for the Responsible Conduct of Research, as well as interfacing with systems such as Research Data Australia, or RDA, for those that aren't aware, which is a national research data discovery system. Some of the features include easy to use workflows and data entry forms, which allow you to describe research data collections. You'll see these in the demo. You can create a variety of metadata formats. OAI PMH, which is just a metadata harvesting protocol. So with the OMI PMH service, you can feed your collection metadata to various aggregators. They might be aggregated, but making it easy to feed your description records to RDA or other services. And both systems are built on an extensible plugin model, which provides interfaces that help you integrate ReDBox with your organizational infrastructure, such as institutional repositories. Some of the benefits include, it's an established solution which has been around for quite a few years now, and it's fully backed by the optional ReDBox support agreement, which is provided by QCIF. There's a cost involved in that. We have a vibrant and active community of users and expertise spread right throughout Australia. It's used widely and is the most commonly installed system of its kind in universities across Australia, so we definitely have a good understanding of local issues, fully customizable, and it's open source. So the community really drives the features which are implemented within the product. In addition to that, ReDBox Lite has also some added benefits. It's a fully hosted platform as a service solution, so QCIF hosts the system on your behalf. It's cost-effective, fuss-free alternative to installing and maintaining your own infrastructure, and it can be used straight out of the box. Now, I'll pass it over to Andrew Brazzati, and he'll provide a demonstration of ReDBox Lite.
Thanks, Andrew. So yes, I'm going to provide a demo of ReDBox and the companion product Mint. So just before I do that, I've got a bit of a diagram of the user architecture of the system. ReDBox is at the core of the product, and it's where the user interacts. It's where we have our workflow forms, where you create your data collection metadata. And we also have this product Mint, which you see at the top, which is a name authority, and it contains basically all your data and taxonomies from various general and institutional sources of truth. And basically it allows ReDBox to provide lookups and in the system, so you can reference associated metadata correctly. Also, Mint has one other purpose, because some of the particularly parties and groups, there's a lack of persistent identifiers in many research management systems. It can also curate identifiers for those types of records. So Andrew, if you don't mind turning off your screen share, and I'll turn on mine. Thank you. Just again. Okay, so although the user doesn't often use Mint in any sort of meaningful way, there is a user interface, so you could have a look at the data in there. So Mint's got a bit of a search and discovery portal, and basically lists all the sort of lookup data that's in there. So Mint out of the box in ReDBox Lite includes the following sort of general data sets that most people use, which are the ANZ, SRC, SEO, and FOR code. So I forget what SEO is, but FOR is field of research. The marked country codes, language codes, the ARC NGCP completed, and as well as new and ongoing research activity projects, and HMRC funded projects as well. So they're all listed in Mint, and they come out of the box as soon as you install it. You can also harvest in data for your own local information. So, for example, obviously researcher for the parties information, groups, any local research activities and services. And in ReDBox Lite, that can be done by providing a CSV file to Mint or through the ReDBox administration interface, which I'll show at the end. So basically you can use something like Excel, fill in the data in that sort of format, and then upload it to the administration interface, and it'll get harvested into the system as well. So that's Mint, and this is ReDBox. As you can see, it looks very similar, different color. I'll just log in so you can see the interface. So there's actually two views or portals in ReDBox. There's the data collection portal, which is what you're seeing now. And this is more of a librarian sort of centric portal, and it contains the form and workflow to create and curate data collection records. There's also a researcher dashboard, which I'll show a bit later. And that is a researcher-centric portal, and it has a data management planning tool, and the ability to self-submit data collection records that can then be moved through the workflow into this portal here. So you can get your researchers to fill in a bit of a skeleton record that you can enhance in this system. So this is the portal that the dashboard that you see when you log in as into the data collection portal, and it gives you a brief overview, shows you the review stages and the records and what review stages they're in. As you can see, there's a few workflow steps. It shows alerts, which is a more simplified version of the self-submission, where you can someone can come in and say, I have a data collection record, and you can contact me on this email address and phone number, and it will pop up over here. And there's also information about embargoes. So you can embargo records so to withhold them from publishing, and records that are past their embargo date will pop up here, and it'll prompt you basically to go in and unembargo them and make them public. So that's the dashboard. Also, there's the same browse and search functionality as well. So you can click on browse and have a bit of a look through, or search by keywords using the search box up here. Obviously the other thing you can do is create a new data collection record. So that's what I'll do now. So I'll click on add a new data set over here. And so it pulls up a form, and it's tabbed by obviously different areas of to describe the data collection, and I'll have to fill in a few things to allow it to submit, so I can explain what is in there as we go along. So title, obviously we need a collection type. So this is obviously the general information. You can do coverage information too. So you can, using the map widget, you can draw regions on the map, as well as enter locations and also different types of metadata in there. You can obviously provide a description and any related publications, websites, technical metadata, related data as well. Just looking here. Information about the collaborators, so creators, who the primary contact is, and supervisors. And this is where Mint starts. So in Mint, we have some parties listed. So if I click on look up here, I can access those people here and also search for them. So I'll just select someone here. Additionally, if you've got an external researcher or creator involved and they're available in NLA, there's also a NLA search interface, so you can find people from the NLA Trove system and reference them as well. Obviously here's subject, so keywords, field of research codes can be filled in like this. That's what SEO is, socioeconomic objective, and those are in here too. So there's the three tiers. Obviously access right information and licensing. Now this is an area that will be updated a bit in the next version of ReDBox to support the latest metadata standard, because there's a little bit more that is captured in the new version that RDA uses. So coming. And obviously location information. And information about the data custodian, any grant numbers, project titles, all those sorts of things. Attachments, you can attach a data file. So if it's something small,
can I ask something?
Sure.
Does it, how do you call it, look up grant numbers from ARC and NHMRC grants?
Yes, it does. That's why they get loaded in. So I can't remember. You put the grant number in, I think something like that. It'll pop them all up here, so you can reference like that. Yeah, so that's also where the Mint integration comes in. So they all get loaded into Mint, basically to provide a quick lookup for the system, because obviously they're in disparate places. So it makes it perform better, basically. So attachments. You can attach a data file if it's small enough. Obviously, if you've got a terabyte data set, it's probably not appropriate to upload it through the web interface. But if you had like an Excel spreadsheet or something along those lines, you can attach it in here. You can also use it to attach any supporting material, a README file, or an ethics document. Notes, internal notes for the people reviewing it. So if one person's looking at it and then it's going to pass it on to somebody else to look at, they can leave some notes in there for the person to read. Citations, you can provide a citation. It'll also, which is not enabled on here, but you can enable it so that it works with Anne's Cite My Data as well. This is the request information. So that's that information I was mentioning before, where someone can notify you about a data set, where you can just they can basically say, I've got a collection, this is what it is, and you can contact me on these details. It will pop up in here if it went via that method. And then on the submit tab, we've got the embargo option, so you can embargo the record, set a date on it, put any notes against it. And the other important part is the ability to progress it through to the next stage of the workflow. So by clicking this checkbox, because I've enabled this, I'm going to uncheck that. So there's some field validation on that. I haven't done that part too. So there's validation on the form too, which is good. Put some numbers in here. Okay. So now I'm allowed to progress it through to the next workflow stage. And it is now here. So this is the details page, and it shows you the information, obviously an overview of the information that's been filled into the form, and it's pretty closely mapped to the tabs, each section of the accordion. So that's the details form. So what I'll do now is I'll progress through the workflow through to publish, so we can see that it appears in the OAI PMH feed for RDA. So I'll won't make any edits, but obviously you can if you need to make changes as you go along. And now we're at the final stage, I believe. Yeah, so now it's ready to be published. So I'll click this checkbox and proceed it through to the publish workflow state. So as you can see, ReDBox has generated a system ID for it, and an internal one based on basically the URL of the site. And it will also curate any parties that are associated with the record as well. And if I switch across to now to this tab, I can show you the IIPMH feed. So it now appears in the feed, and this is the RIF-CS, which is the metadata standard that Research Data Australia uses. So basically, you could plug in the URL that from this site here into Research Data Australia for your against your account, and it will start pulling the data in and displaying it on Research Data Australia. And I've got a couple of examples from institutions currently using ReDBox, so you can see what the records look like in Research Data Australia. So you can produce some relatively rich records. As well, this one here's got the map as well, so all that stuff works as well. So that's the data collection portal, and the other portal I mentioned was the researcher dashboard. So I'm just going to switch across to that one there. Log in as a researcher. Cool. So, like I said, this is a researcher-centric portal, and it gives the user ability to create data management plans, as well as the ability to self-submit data collection records for review. So I'll show the data management planning tool first. So I'll just click to create one. So unlike the data collection tool, this is more of a wizard sort of view. So you progress backwards and forwards through the sort of wizard flow. And yeah, it provides much information about your project. So let's put some information in to allow us to progress. And once again, it has things such as, your FOR codes and associated information, describing your collaborators or contributors. And once again, we've got the Mint lookup here, so all the you can reference the researchers appropriately that are involved, or the data manager. Obviously, information about the sort of data storage requirements and where it's going to be stored can be captured. Ethics information, the sensitivity of the data, whether to help make decisions about what's the best way to manage this data. Ownership and licensing as well. So I'm just going to click save on this. So the other thing with the data management plan is it's basically a one-step workflow. So the idea with this particular implementation that's out of the box is it's the data management plan is in a kind of a perpetual draft. So as the researcher works through the project, they could come in and update information as required. We have helped some other institutions customize their data management planning tool to have a full workflow where the researcher puts in their information, the lead chief investigator of the project then approves that information. It gets passed through to the research data management team, who then approve it again, and then it automatically provisions them storage. So we've helped some other institutions do things like that with the tool, because it is customizable. So that's the data management plan. Additionally, you can go in and look in the details, and it will generate a PDF. So it's a pretty plain one in the out-of-the-box version, but it does work. So it generates a PDF with all the information. So the idea is you can print that out and share it with whoever needs to have a look at it as well. The other functionality in the researcher dashboard is the self-submission. So that's your summary of all your plans you're currently working on at the moment, obviously, in your dashboard. And down here is the data collection. So the way the self-submission works is there's a draft workflow state, which is where the researcher fills in the information. And when they're ready, it gets submitted and it gets handed over to the other workflow. So in here, we can see data collections that I've created previously that are still in draft. And these are ones that I've submitted through. So these are over in the other workflow now, and you can see that you can track the researcher can kind of track the status of them to see when they're published. So I'll create a new one. And once again, it's a wizard sort of flow rather than the tab, because we felt that the tabbed view is a bit overwhelming for some people. So the wizard sort of allows a better focus on a particular format at hand. So, so I'm going to do the data collection here. And a description. And record type. So a lot of these fields are pretty much exactly the same as what's in the other form, obviously, because this will then map across. But obviously, I cut down this, so data locations, fields of research codes, keywords, and contributors. So that, and licensing information. Access conditions. A retention period. And obviously put in temporal coverage and geospatial information as well. Additionally, they can put some notes in here as well about the record for the reviewer, and they will appear in that notes section that you saw before in the form. And when they're happy with everything, they can click on this checkbox, and it will push it through to the data collection portal. So I'll just show you that's working. Ooh. I'm not sure what happened there. Apologies. Just give me one moment.
Andrew.
Yes.
Can you make certain fields compulsory?
Yes, you can. So those ones, the asterisks, were all compulsory, mandatory fields. Yeah, they needed to be filled in. So yeah, you can do that. And then yeah, there's form validation. Sorry, I've lost my set of tabs before that I had before. I'll just open up a new window. Okay. Reshare. Is that gone? There we go. Okay, so if I log back in to the data collection portal and go to metadata review records, you'll see there's that data collection self-submission record that I created before. So that's been moved across into here, and it can be reviewed by the librarians and enhanced and made ready for curation and publication through to Research Data Australia. So that's ReDBox. I did mention that I was going to show you the administration interface, which is the where you can do the uploading of CSVs. So that's a separate interface again, and basically you can come into this screen and select your CSVs for your parties, groups, activity, services, and harvest them in. Additionally, you can do some basic configuration as well, including the branding. So if you want to change the color scheme, put your logo on there as well. That's very easy to do via this interface. So yes, that's ReDBox, and yeah, I'll hand back to Andy White to field any questions.
Thanks for that, Andrew. Okay, so we might open it up now and see if people have any questions.
Oh, it's Natasha here. I'm just wondering who's using ReDBox Lite at the moment, or if this is sort of kind of launch of it, and what advice would you give institutions as to how quickly they can get this up and running at their institution?
Would you like me to field that one, Andy?
Yes, okay.
Okay, so ReDBox Lite was developed as to be a platform as a service application with the assistance of Nectar, because the objective was to have an instance that could run on the Nectar cloud. When it was being developed, we had University of New England and the Australian Catholic University participating as testers and user acceptance testing. We've implemented it ourselves within QCIF to support collection management for CRIS data, for our significant data collections, and for collection requests. We currently have an instance stood up for an RDS project, RDS Genomics, that Dr. Nick Hamilton's in charge of. And we are just signing an agreement with University of New England to stand up an instance for them. Now, all of these instances are stood up by us, as said, it's platform as a service, so we'll be running these instances on CRIS Cloud for these clients. In terms of turnaround, Natasha, it's we have a standard support agreement. So what we offer is we offer a support agreement for ReDBox Lite, which is basically an annual fee to contribute to the costs of supporting the product. We have two levels or two types of service agreements. So we have a managed hosting service agreement, which allows us to, which basically covers us hosting and managing the instance of ReDBox. And then we have the third agreement, which I have to cast my mind back to remember. Sorry, it's escaping me at the moment. But basically, the three agreements combined, and we are looking to combine them into a single agreement, will cover that hosting. We can, once we have the agreement, we can stand up an instance and get it to a ready to test state within a few days. And then it's, okay, so the third agreement was an agreement around whether there's any additional customization work to be done. That's why I was having trouble remembering it, because it's not part of the normal agreements. So depending on your customization requirements, we can have it stood up within a few days, or if you want customization, then we'll look at what the customization requirements are.
Thanks very much, Gavin.
How many of those universities you have it running now? How many have a workflow attached to it?
That question is probably best answered at the ReDBox level with the universities who are currently running the full ReDBox. Andrew Brazzatti, would you be in a position to answer that one?
Yeah. So in terms of the data collection workflow, all the universities that are using it basically use that workflow as it is. The data management planning tool is used by all institutions. That particular version there was we worked with Flinders University and Deakin University to develop, and so they're using it in that format. And there's one or two other universities that are also running customizations of that as well. So I guess with that side, there's probably 4 or 5 universities using the data management planning tool and self-submission.
Another question I have is, as an administrator, do I have access to the raw data, to the data tables?
The storage in the back end is sort of a NoSQL solution, sort of based on it's a file system storage, but it's based on how Fedora sort of structures things. So as an administrator, you can go in and pull this information out. It's all stored in JSON files, so they're very easy to read and do that sort of thing.
Okay.
There's also a Solr as well, just for the searching, and that indexes all that information too. So you can pull information out that way in a sort of API manner as well if you need that.
Okay.
Other questions? Just feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
I'll jump into the gap whilst people are formulating questions. But Andrew, do you want to speak a little bit to the roadmap and the fact that we do have a constant backlog of new and improved features to bring to ReDBox?
Sure. So we aim for a new major release of ReDBox every year, once a year. And we are in planning for the next version at the moment. And so we've consulted our user community. We've written a survey that our members gave us feedback on. Well, first we asked for features that they'd like, and then we wrote a survey to sort of prioritise them. And so now we're at the stage where we're at a bit of a scoping stage for those. So some of the things that we're looking to do in this next release is support ORCIDs, which is a researcher identifier. That's at the moment needs quite a bit of analysis because I think a lot of institutions are working out exactly how that's going to fit within their institution. We're also looking to update that data collection form to support the latest metadata standard of RIS-CS for sort of publication research data Australia, so should be able to produce even more nicer looking records in RDA. We're also looking at updating the OAI PMH feed there too, to use another tool, which some people use for harvesting. They're the three ones that I think at the moment we'll definitely be able to get to. But there's a full list of others. If you subscribe to the mailing ReDBox mailing list, which we might send an email out with that later, I will be sending an email soon with the full list of features and the priorities, and you'll be able to track there where we're at with that for this next release.
And a key aspect of ReDBox Lite and ReDBox as a hosted service is that QCIF takes on the responsibility for updating the ReDBox instances as well, on the assumption that it is not a heavily customized version of ReDBox.
So, do we have any more questions that people have come up with? So you can always get in touch with us through any of those means that are listed on the slide there. Or if you would like a demo or more information, let us know, and we'll be pleased to set something up, or a meeting, or to discuss your needs. If there's no more questions, then we might wrap it up here. Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks very much.
Yes, thanks everyone for attending. Much appreciated.
Oh, wait. There is a question from Grant.
Oh yes, yeah, from Grant. Yeah. So there was a question about Lite, what the term stands for. Yeah. So essentially, yeah, Lite is it's the full ReDBox, but it's basically a customized profile of ReDBox. So it's a cut down set of features, and the idea is that it can be spun up easily and out of the box and it'll work. So yes, the idea is it'll have there's less admin required, and and yeah, it's just easier to get running. So I guess you could also stand up ReDBox Lite by yourself, but you would require system administration ability and understanding of how to maintain a ReDBox. The ReDBox Full, which some institutions are running, really require a developer and a system administrator. And I guess the ReDBox Lite hosted, you don't need any of those. So you could just focus on managing your metadata and not worrying about any of that sort of technical stuff. So managing backups and upgrades and everything else, and security patches and all that sort of thing.
Okay, so last chance for any questions. Okay, then we might leave it there. Feel free to get in touch with us, and we appreciate that you all spent the time and came to find out a little bit more about ReDBox Lite. So thanks everyone. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks.